Hello, friends. Here is our day number 3, and I hope you all can see me and you all can hear me. And if you are able to hear me, please type yes, and then I will know that everything is all set for us to begin. तो अगर आपको सुनाई दे रहा है तो प्लीज यस टाइप कीजिए और हम शुरू करेंगे तुरंत. Yes, good evening to everyone for our day 3. And thank you very much for confirming. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Okay, the participants are still joining, but it is 6 o'clock sharp and we need to start. Today is our last day, day number 3. And let's see what all we are going to check today. So, first, we are going to see the future of concrete, what we can expect in concrete technology in next 5 to 10 years. Which are the two properties which will shape our concrete over next decade? So last 2 days we have seen the cement consumption is going to get double. The requirement for good quality engineers, for qualified engineers, for expert engineers is going to be huge, going to be shot through the roof, as we say. How we all are going to take benefit of that. So that's what we are going to see about your future and the future of concrete, and how we can connect both these things together. Chalo dekhte hain how we can connect them together. Before I go ahead, let's very quickly go through what we learned. We learned about modulus of elasticity, right? We learned about the angry wife, how the stress increases the strain, that is modulus of elasticity, how aggregates are very strong, not so much change in their length, even if the stress increases. Our cement paste, which is inside the concrete, cement paste means water and cement hydrated together, CSH gel. So we call it cement paste. This cement paste immediately goes under the change in the length. So the strain is high for the same amount of load. That's what we saw yesterday. And together, aggregates and cement paste, they form our concrete. And concrete line was supposed to be in between, but it is slightly curved. This is what we saw in one of the points yesterday. We also looked at GGBFS, we looked at fly ash, and we looked at ball bearing concrete. So we looked at the particle shape of GGBFS. GGBFS is flaky. जैसे काटा रहता है ना, काटे जैसा, लॉन्ग इन शेप एंड थिन सेक्शन. तो ये सारे कांटे एक दूसरे में अटक जाते हैं. ऑल दिस फ्लेकी fly. So then the third point we saw was demonstrate consistently your talent. तो आपका जो भी talent है, you will have to demonstrate it consistently, and for that we always give an example that maybe you are a PhD in a subject, and you are PhD in a subject, you can always teach the graduate students. If you are graduate in a subject, you can teach the undergraduates. If you are 12th pass, you can teach the 10th pass, and if you are in the 4th grade, still you can teach the 2nd grade. So it is not necessary that you have to be an expert to go out and teach others. Internet is such a beautiful medium that we can find the audience who want that knowledge. एक सेकेंड ग्रेड स्टूडेंट को who will teach better? PhD will teach better or fourth grader will teach better, because the fourth grader understands the problems of the second grade student better, the problems which PhD will not be able to assume. And this is sometimes we call कर्स ऑफ अ एक्सपर्ट. तो एक आदमी जितना ज्यादा एक्सपर्ट है उतना वो एज्यूम करने लगता है चीजों को कि माय स्टूडेंट्स नो दिस, दे नो दैट, एंड ही एज्यूम्स and starts teaching at a higher level, which becomes a problem. So you have to teach in the same level of your students, and that is a great benefit of internet today. और इसलिए मैं आप सबको बार बार कहता हूं कि demonstrate consistently your talent. That is our formula for success. And then of course we looked at the other aspect of fly ash reactivity, four brothers of cement, tricalcium silicate, dicalcium silicate, tricalcium aluminate, and tetracalcium aluminoferrite. The four brothers. One is very strong, one is very consistent, the third one is the angry young man, and the fourth one is holding them together. Okay, that's what we saw in the last 2 days. We also looked at this ball bearing effect, how your pumping problems you can solve with that. I think we have already spoken about all that, and we shouldn't discuss too much. We discussed about the cyclone, about why it is a challenge for civil engineers compared to nature. So nature can have a thin section of coconut tree, even with a huge load, coconuts on top, shaking like this with branches, and the tree will deflect a lot, but we cannot allow our buildings to deflect. And therefore, the strain, measurement of strain is so important. You can't allow the strain to go out of your hand. So this is slightly, we are moving into structural analysis. We don't want to go there, but as you are designing the concrete, you need to keep in mind. And this was a table where I stopped yesterday. Okay, so let's quickly continue from this table. So this table says that the relationship between drying shrinkage. So shrinkage is a force. So as the water starts leaving, so first we saw the plastic shrinkage, right? And plastic shrinkage, we saw that in the first 24 to 48 hours, जब पानी निकल जाता है हमारे concrete से, तो it leaves lot of cracking. And this cracking is a major problem for a concrete supplier, for a contractor who is doing the job, for project management consultant, for structural consultants, because they all know कि ये crack में से tomorrow the environmental agents will go inside and they will spoil my reinforcement. The corrosion of reinforcement will begin. So plastic shrinkage is a challenge for all of us, and we saw what is a simple solution. There are two solutions which we saw. The first one is cover it after 1 hour with a plastic sheet, your concrete, whatever you are doing. The second solution which we saw was use a lower water to cement ratio. Don't keep too much free water inside your concrete. आप सबको पता है? So one question for you. Try to answer as we go ahead. What is the actual chemical demand of your concrete? What is the actual chemical demand of water for your concrete? So what do I mean? एक साइड के ऊपर कंक्रीट मिक्स हो रहा है, एक बैग सीमेंट डाला 50 kgs, कुछ पानी डाला आपने, टिपिकली 25 लीटर पानी डाला आपने, वाटर टू सीमेंट रेशियो इज 0.5. अभी हम क्यों यूज करते हैं इतना ज्यादा पानी? Because we want to mix the concrete, we want to pump it, we want to place it, we want to finish it. So we add much more amount of water. What is the actual requirement of your cement? अगर आपको मिक्सिंग भी नहीं करना है, everything is taken care of, तो कम से कम कितना पानी सीमेंट को लगेगा for the chemical development, for the hydration of cement? So what is that? Tell me, what is the chemical requirement of cement for water? How much water to cement ratio? So normally we use 0.4, around that, right? In our ready mix plants, in our concretes, site mix concrete, maybe sometimes 0.48, 0.5, it is really bad concrete. So that is our range. Good concrete mixes 0.35, 0.3. These are the very tight mixes where you want to have high strength. My question to you is, what is the actual demand of cement? Cement को कितना पानी चाहिए? Minimum, how much water it needs? Try to give that answer. So here is my water to cement ratio for you. And here the experiment shows that as you increase the water to cement ratio, you will find that the shrinkage goes on increasing. So the shrinkage values are 0.23. Yogesh, lovely answer. Lovely. Fantastic. 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 So Ajay, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Mr. Patel, for answering. So 0.25 is the chemical demand for your cement. 0.25. This means for a 50 kg bag, multiplied by 0.25 is 12.5 liters. That's all the water needs. So what we try to do as good civil engineers, we try to keep the water to cement ratio as low as possible, as close as possible to 0.25, and take benefit of your plasticizers. With PC based plasticizers, maybe you'll be able to do it. Thanks. Thank you very much. Yes, Mr. Mohammed, you are absolutely right. 23 to 25%. Great answer. So aggregate to cement ratio, is on one side, and we have seen cement paste undergoes immediate volume change. Aggregates, they do not go volume change. So the shrinkage, who is the main cause for shrinkage? The cause is our cement paste. And uh, as we discuss, after plastic shrinkage has happened, and now we go to drying shrinkage. And drying shrinkage continues, and it has certain huge values over the period. The drying shrinkage continues and our aggregate cement ratio is 5. Okay, 5. So if I have 2000 kgs of my aggregates and 400 kgs of cement, right? So that more or less makes the density of 2500 including water. So around aggregate, so practical, how much we are going to get? Between 4 to 5 aggregate cement ratio. Now look for 0.4. The figure is 550 to 400. So let's say 500 into 10 raised to minus 6. 500 into 10 raised to minus 6 is your shrinkage. What is the unit for this? So you can call it in percent. So if you want to call it in percent, you have to multiply by 100, and then you will get typical values of 0.05% to 0.5%. So that is the range of. Fantastic question. Would this demand vary with GGBFS? No, the demand would remain same for total, because GGBFS is also going to act as a cementitious material. So the total demand is going to remain same of the total cementitious material that we have, because even if GGBFS is separate than OPC, still it is going to form your CSH gel. It is not an inert material. It is very much cementitious. Only its properties are sleeping part of it. SiO2. CaO is active. So it is partly hydraulic, partly pozzolanic. And the pozzolanic part is also going to come in picture. It is also going to form CSH gel. So water demand would remain same. So when we speak about 500 into 10 raised to minus 6, in terms of percentage, you will see it is 0.05 to 0.5%. Within that range, your concrete is going to shrink through drying shrinkage. और हर एक चीज को, जैसे हम कहते हैं एक शाप है, वैसे हमारे कंक्रीट का सबसे बड़ा शाप क्या है? is our drying shrinkage, because you cannot control it. And therefore in huge structures, look at the roads, you have to leave grooves either for shrinkage to take place or for shrinkage cracks to appear at a specific place. So cracking of concrete, can we avoid it? We cannot avoid it. You look at any large building where there is external plaster done. Let's go to plaster. Very nice point about plaster as we go ahead. So here was the question. I'm talking about plaster because in our country it is such a critical thing. The plaster, because we are in northern hemisphere. So because we are in northern hemisphere, the sun is always in the south, right? So in our Vastu Shastra we have written ke south mein ye nahi hona chahiye, wo nahi hona chahiye. So there was some science behind it, because the south side walls and the west side walls, west and south, both these directions, they always get maximum heat. And this heat which comes onto the wall creates a lot of shrinkage, lot of evaporation, loss of water inside, and leads to fantastic cracking. So you go to any building in India, you go on the southern phase, and you will find, probably if the plastering there is some issue, definitely cracks on the south side of your wall. So it is what it is said, don't keep your bedroom on the south direction, keep your guest bedroom in south direction. So guest log 2 दिन में भाग जाएंगे when they will receive all that heat. But that's just a joke. But if you keep your bedroom, you will become chidchida person because of all that heat coming. And that is why we say south is the direction of Yama. It is not direction of Yama. South is the direction of heat which enters our home. Why? Because afternoon or evening, the sun always travels mostly through the southern sky, and that is the concept behind Vastu Shastra. But we are not talking about that. What we are saying is, if I want to design a good plaster, I want to take care of this shrinkage. I don't want any shrinkage cracks to appear on this plaster. So what we will do, water we will keep more or less. Tell me if you can, just type the answers here. Sand. So sand is an aggregate for plaster, right? So you will have higher sand content or lower sand content compared to cement, of course, because there are only two things, sand is there and cement is there, and water for workability. So when I compare sand, you will have higher sand content or lower sand content. So normally we all engineers go to site and we feel that 1:4 plaster is better than 1:6 plaster. Is this a right statement? Because the number one enemy for our plaster is shrinkage. We don't want strength in our plaster. Strength we want, but just enough that it will hold in place. We don't want it to shrink. We don't want it to crack. So, do you want more aggregates or lower aggregates? Okay, higher, higher, higher. So, higher what? For water or for sand? Mr. Mohammed, your answer you are giving higher is for water or is it for sand? So, the next point is cement. And let me make it slightly colder. I don't know why it's so warm today. Okay, so we go to cement. So the answer for cement would be reversed than answer for sand, right? So please try to give all these answers to me. Yes, sand should be higher, right, Mr. Mohammed? Also give me answer for water. What do you feel? Then you also need admixtures. So you can use certain admixtures. Polymers give lot of bonding, and you see all the ready mix plaster. We also, my company also produces a lot of ready mix plaster and mortar. And polymer plays such a crucial role. Since we started supplying uh, polymer based jointing mortar and polymer based plaster, the complaints have completely gone cracking in plaster. Otherwise, my god, cracking in plaster, particularly for cities which have very dry weather, like Nagpur, like Indore, like Ahmedabad, like Delhi. So these hot cities where the humidity sometimes goes below 15% and all the water is sucked from water to below. Yes, right. और पूरा पानी सक हो जाता है आपके प्लास्टर से. When the humidity is very low, the temperature is more than 40-45 degrees centigrade, and you get this beautiful design, cracking design on the south and west wall. So in such cases you can use this. Polymer really helps. Polymer makes the plaster slightly expensive, but now we are situated at a place where we have access to sand. We get sand, we can make a good river sand plaster, which is probably not possible in these cities. If you go to Pune, there is no sand available for plaster, neither in Mumbai and most of India. So there is a benefit when you use ready mix plaster. I'm not here to advertise for ready mix plaster, don't worry about it. So then the next point is, I'm just talking about admixture number 1 and 2. So we have two admixtures. One is polymer which we add, and there is MHEC. You go on internet and try to find about these two admixtures. So first is polymer, and the second is so it is called RDP, redispersible powder. So which is a polymer which we add, and the second is MHEC. Just search on Google and you will get fantastic information about these two new generation materials. They were not there 5 years earlier. Although we are talking about PC, polycarboxylate admixture in concrete, and great things about it, but you have missed these two elements which are there in plaster, and they make a very nice plaster. Okay. Fly ash is the next point. We will have fly ash because fly ash will reduce your heat of hydration and internal heat, as in the first 8 to 10 days it will stop any cracking happening. Curing, you need very nice curing. So imagine you are doing your construction in a hot city like Ahmedabad, and you are doing your external plaster. It is the summer time, and because it is the summer time, you want to take extra precaution when you are doing the plaster. That this is my south wall and this is my west wall. So south and west, at this right angle joint, you should have Hessian cloth covering the plaster on both the sides. This Hessian cloth will protect the plaster from direct sun, and it is very easy to keep moisture trapped inside once you have this hessian cloth on both the sides. So some buildings we see now, particularly repair buildings, they take extra precaution, but we all should do that. For our even normal construction, we should have this hessian cloth, and we should put the moisture, because normally साइड के ऊपर क्या होता है, एक बाई है पाइप लेके, और वो दिन में 2 बार क्यूरिंग का पानी मार के जाती है, and within 30 minutes the curing water evaporates, again exposing the plaster to direct sunlight. During summer it is a worst case scenario. So try to do that, try to do a good curing of your plaster. So the answer first is water as less as possible. Sand should be as more as possible. So if you can do a 1:6 mix with the right amount of admixtures, probably polymer. If you don't want to use polymer on your site, fine, use a water reducing plasticizer, and then so you are maintaining the strength. So typical, what is the strength you will need for your plaster? 8 to 10 Newton per mm square is fantastic, good enough. You will use admixtures, you will put some fly ash, 20 to 25%. It will help the mason to mix and to apply the plaster. The rebound loss is very less whenever you use 25% fly ash in your plaster, and you will do a nice curing. Okay, let's go ahead. So this was all yesterday's syllabus. Now we come to today's syllabus. Today's syllabus is fantastic, very simple. I'm sure you'll all enjoy it. The future of concrete. So there are two properties which are going to be critical. So the first one is, can we have density below 1000 kg per meter cube? So one of my past students, Mr. Hemant, I don't know if he's there today here. So acrylic polymer. So the polymer I am saying is a acrylic polymer. So the redispersible powder I am saying is a acrylic polymer. And Mr. Hemant is there. So he works in a unique project, which is they have a factory in eastern part of India of lightweight aggregates, and that is the future of the concrete. Can you reduce the density of concrete? We all know that the highest load our structure has is what? Highest load? Self weight of concrete. And if we can reduce that self weight, the live load is much less compared to the dead load. And today the density of concrete is 2500. If you can bring it to 1000 without sacrificing the strength too much, that is a real challenge for the technologies today. How we can achieve it? We'll go ahead and see what we are doing. And then there is lightweight aggregates and air entering. The second is the very high strength concrete, 200 megapascal. I have read that in the laboratory it has been already developed and they are trying to apply it on some project, but I have not yet seen any project where 200 megapascal concrete is being used. So what would happen if the density of concrete comes down and the strength of concrete goes up, right? So the density has to come down and the strength has to go up. So this is a double impact, which means you are having a much lightweight concrete of a higher strength, and there your spans will zoom to almost 1 kilometer, 1000 meters. If we can have a 1000 meter span, then it will be like a science fiction where we see those huge long flyovers going in so much different direction without any interruption for the road below. So I hope we are able to do that. And as you go ahead in your life or next 5 to 10 years, try to get as much knowledge as possible about lightweight concrete and about high strength concrete. Now everybody is talking about 3D printing and that is the future, but I think the real thing which will take our industry quickly far ahead is a development in these two areas. It can literally have a magic spell on our industry if we can do it. So IS code is already preparing itself, and we have a very nice code on lightweight concrete, and it discusses about so many different density classes. So the highest density class that the IS code has given is 1000 kgs, up to 1000 kgs. But look at the strength value is quite low. The strength value is quite low, and that is where the whole challenge comes. But there are a number of benefits which come from a lightweight concrete. So let's go ahead and see. So the first one is your sections become very small, your beam sections, if you are able to produce lightweight concrete. The amount of steel that is required inside, steel why we need? Not for live load. Unfortunately, most of the steel is consumed for the dead load, for carrying the dead load of the structure. And that gets reduced by almost 25%. Now imagine steel is one of the most expensive construction items today. And if we could reduce it by 25%. Lightweight concrete has excellent fire resistance. So compared to conventional concrete, lightweight concrete has almost twice the fire resistance. Fire resistance 4 hours. Thermal efficiency, we all know that lightweight concrete was invented in Europe in the year 1920 when they wanted to stop the cold from coming inside. And it was invented by Swedish scientist Ericsson. He was an architect, and there were a number of guys working in various parts of the world, in USA, Germany, Sweden, and somebody had developed aluminum powder effect, somebody had developed autoclaving effect, and they all came, and these all technologies were combined by Dr. Ericsson in 1920, 100 years ago, and it came out in a very big way. But unfortunately, what has happened? All the lightweight concrete has got restricted, not unfortunately, but the technology has not developed that quickly to masonry work. Now everyone is trying hard, like Mr. Hemanta, who was there that day. They are trying to produce structural concrete, M20 grade concrete, using lightweight aggregates which will have a density of 1000 kg per meter cube. I'm telling you, it is going to be a revolution, just like the way internet changed our things in our daily life. In the same way, lightweight concrete, if it can come in the mainstream, then you will quickly find that the sizes of our columns, beams will change, the amount of reinforcement will go down, the speed of construction, which is our next point, would go up. So whenever we are talking about lightweight concrete, is much easier to handle if you are doing precast as well to handle these panels. Lightweight concrete also uses or has to use a recycled material, again like GGBFS or fly ash, because you can't use your heavy aggregates. If you use heavy aggregates, the weight of the concrete will go up, the density will again rise, and you want to keep it below 1000 kg per cubic meter. So you are forced to use lightweight aggregates like GGBFS, the powder of slag, or fly ash. And the highest benefit is the better earthquake resistance. So we know 70% construction in Japan today, the masonry construction is done with lightweight concrete, because the moment you reduce the weight, then the structure becomes more able to handle your earthquake waves. There is less collapses and there is less destruction. So it is widely prescribed in earthquake prone zones. But the problem today is what? This is future. Today's problem is, yes, we do all that, but only in the masonry. Still, the structural concrete is not lightweight, and that's where we have to go. So, friends, I want to invite all of you for a 5 weeks journey with me, starting from January, and this is going to be a deep learning. Now, we are just touching few subjects on top, but what can happen if we take one concept and go right deep inside, and if we take one concept, 1 week, only one concept, and learn everything about it, and 5 weeks would be a huge time to learn about various things, provided you are ready to dedicate and give some time for the 5 weeks period of your life. I'm sure it can create transformation. So this training, which I thought would be live sessions, but over 5 weeks. So let's say each Saturday, 2 hours would be the live personal 1:1 coaching on concrete technology, and it will be supported by lot of video modules. So you'll get lot of videos which you can also see during your spare time. So when I designed this learning program, I was looking for what are the things which the civil engineers have to know, the most important things. So the first one is our Bible. So the first Bible is our 456 IS code. The second for civil engineers is IS 10262. Why this is an important code? Because very recently, just 2 years ago, it went under a major revision, and it has not remained only a simple mixed design code, but it talks about self compacting concrete, M80 grade of concrete, and it not only talks about these concretes, it also gives solid examples. Can you think of any code in the world which is giving solid examples for self compacting concrete, for high fly ash content concrete, for high strength, high performance concrete, and for general concrete? So there are solid examples given in IS 10262, and then we look at various ways, various tricks, because I love teaching in story format. When I was in 10th standard, I remember I had just passed out. The result had come of 10th standard, and I wanted to go to arts because I love to, speak. I love to be in literature. But as all our parents, this was year 1983, and my batchmate Ajay is still there. As usual, my parents, they forced me to take science. आपको engineer ही बनना पड़ेगा, typically in India. And there was a big drama in our house. I wanted to take arts, but you know how the circle moves. So I became an engineer. How I passed, don't ask me, please. I struggled, but I completed the program. I passed engineering. But this story idea was always there in my mind, explaining anything in a story format. And so I went back to book writing. I've written 2 books till now, and hopefully a book on concrete would come in 2022. So finally, I went back to the same storyboard concept, and I call my concrete storyboard concrete. So converting these concepts into stories so that anyone would understand. And that's how I came back to teaching, which I love. So I did the whole my profession in engineering. I worked as concrete technologist on many projects, but finally here I'm teaching you. So this is the week 1. On week 2, we will discuss only about the ball bearing concrete. So how to eliminate concrete rejection, how to learning with graphs about the bad crushed sand, how to bad crushed sand is coming, no problem, how you can incorporate it, this crushed sand, using the graphs which we have developed. You will not find anywhere in any books or anywhere on the internet. So returning slump for long time. Okay, so this is use of intelligent use of fly ash to accommodate bad crushed sand. So 1 week entirely for ball bearing concrete. Then the most important for us is testing of concrete. How we test? We all talk about L box, U box, V funnel test, but then the moment we talk about cylinders, testing of cylinders and comparing them with cubes, the tensile strength testing, the whole world of non-destructive testing, the Schmidt hammer rebound. So we will cover all that in week number 3 of this program. Admixtures, very important thing. When a supplier supplies admixtures to our site, we don't know which is a good admixture. Everybody gives a wonderful sample, but what comes every day is God only knows, and the result is directly in our concrete. So how can you test the admixture when it arrives on your batching plant, on your site, whether it is meeting the same quality standard? Which are the different types of admixtures which are there, and how to intelligently use them? Where should I go for PC? Where should I go for naphtha? What about lignosulfate? Lignosulfate have some unique properties, and which concrete, for which concrete you will prescribe a lignosulfate? So we'll look into all that and various tips. Aerated concrete, again, 1 full week we are dedicating to it, so that you know exactly what the IS code is saying. You will know how to manufacture aerated concrete. Using aerated concrete is also tough, so we are all preparing ourselves for that future which is going to come, and 1 week dedicated for that. So every Saturday we will discuss live. During the week on the same topic, you will get lot of video modules. So in case you don't catch anything, you don't have to worry. Of course, all these recorded sessions would be sent to you even if you miss them live. But apart from the live session, there are pre-recorded videos where I have sat nicely in a studio and delivered this small 5 minute number of modules, total 10 hours. So this live coaching I thought was very important. Remember Professor Shetty, MS Shetty. So coming Wednesday, you are meeting us, right, on YouTube live. Professor Shetty, we know his book, but when I have spent those so many hundreds of evenings discussing the concepts which are in the book, so there is something given in the book, but there is far more beyond the concepts given in a book. And that's why a real life coach, a direct discussion with the coach helps. And that's why these live sessions. I tried to do these programs before, but then I realized that the transformation which I want in you to happen will not just happen through pre-recorded videos. You'll watch the videos and it is like reading a textbook. So what is important is this live interaction which we will have over 5 weeks. So as I said, you can watch the videos at your own time. These are separate from the live Saturday class which I'm saying. You will also have PDF notes of all these. So it is like having a book on concrete about these 5 topics which you have chosen. So you will have videos, you will have live sessions, and you will have PDF notes also with you. This is a strange topic which I have added, which I never tried before. I had a separate program for businessmen which runs how to grow your business, or if you want to launch your own concrete consulting business, how to do that. So I have taken a lot of modules from there and I have incorporated for our concrete technology program. As I'm telling you, demonstrate consistently talent, and how you can use social media, how can you have one full year of calendar, what you are going to publish every week. So one post from you every week, and suddenly at the end of the year you have 52 high quality posts which you have published either on LinkedIn or Facebook or any other channel that you like. If you love video like this, you can do it on YouTube. And suddenly at the end of year you have 52 high quality material, and when you send your CV to find that right job and you give link to your profile, LinkedIn profile or YouTube channel, that itself will fetch you the job which you have in mind. So all these sessions I have taken from which were designed for a businessman, for an entrepreneur, for somebody who wants to have his own consulting business, and I have added that in this session. Of course, the main question is what about the fees? And I never wanted the fees to be an obstruction between you and me. And we were trying to figure out hard what should be the fees. And finally, we thought that the amount of value that we are giving, we can have a fee of 9,950 rupees for these 5 weeks. But then I thought, what else I can add as a bonus for you? So that was a personal video call where we will discuss about your current life situation, about your current job, and how you can reach your dream job. So we will try to figure that out and I will help you to implement them. So we'll have this deep video call with each of you personally, where you can really share your personal things with me and we can take it forward. Of course, the certificate is so important. So sometimes a certificate adds a nice value. And today my company MJ Consulting is getting a good reputation in the market. We are associated with very big brands like Tisco, Bell, Tata and Godrej. And I'm sure this certificate of a concrete specialist would definitely help you. But then when I discussed with my senior colleague, Mr. Kulkarni, he said the price is too high. Don't try to keep such a high price. Even 9,950 rupees is high. Try to give some discount so that nobody should feel that price is going to be a hindrance between the program and me. So we're thinking about the 50% price and what should we do? And finally, he said, no, even 50%, even 5,000 is a high price. You have to bring it below 3,000 rupees. So just as a token, finally we decided kuch to lena padega, because unless I take money from you, you will not feel committed. It will be like these open sessions. Anybody can come, attend and go. So finally the price we decided was we'll keep it just as 2,950, just as an entry point price. And I'm sure the value that you will get probably would be more than 50,000 rupees. So then I thought, let's keep this offer only for this week and for limited participants, because if we want to have a personalized experience, then this is important. So probably my manager, course manager, Mr. Anup, he will try to post a link. And if you are interested, you can join this program at just 2950 rupees. And I promise you my word that from 1st January, we will charge it at 4950. So this is a batch. I want to work together end of the year, and let's try to make it a success. And let me see if I can put this link for you, and let's see if we can work together at this starting from 1st of January. So starting from 1st of January, working for 5 weeks, covering the 5 sessions at this price of 2950. So I'm just trying to get this link and post it, uh, or I can request Anup to post this link for you. Here it is. Yes. Even today's session, and as you have seen all our previous sessions, you would get them by emailing. Have anybody of you checked the recordings? They have come out quite nice, well, and in case you don't get the link, I will try to send it to you by, so you can please ask me your questions if you have now. uh, Please ask me any questions that you have about the course, about the link, and the link surely you will get it by email, but also I am just about to post it here. So please go ahead and type your questions which you have. I want all of you to join this program, and as I said, because the price, we didn't want to keep a constraint, we really got it down to this level, but the value that you will get out of it is something I'm sure, I'm sure you would love it. So here is the link. Yes. Okay, so the link is here, and if at all you want to go and pay, you can please pay 2950 rupees, and we will begin this program on 1st of January. My very special personal, I don't like to talk about guarantee and warranty and money back guarantee, but anytime you join and within first 10 days you feel you don't want to do the program, ये program आपके लिए नहीं है, you know, you don't want to discontinue, please let me know in the first 10 days, and you will get your full refund. No one will ask you a question, आपने वीडियो देखा था क्या, नहीं देखा था क्या, why didn't you like it, please continue, nobody will ask, because that's not the whole purpose of doing it, not to earn money but to get a commitment from your side. That's why the money part is important. So if you feel that you don't want to continue but 10 days, you let me know and we'll refund. So it's not like a typical marketing gimmick money back guarantee. Just send me a small email or a small WhatsApp message, sir please refund, I'm not able to do the course, or I don't like it, or whatever it is, and immediately you will get your refund. So you are fully covered from all sides, which is what I wanted. You should not feel that you are at risk. You should not feel that whether this program is for me or not. uh, can I change, can I get my dream job? So that is my responsibility with you, that's our joint responsibility, that not only you get the concrete knowledge, but you also move on your career substantially, right? So it's not only about completing a course. You know, we do so many courses in our life, and that's all, it doesn't change. Next day morning you forget about everything else, right? Time of the day, every Saturday 6 p.m. this course would be held for 2 hours 5 Saturdays into 2 hours, 10 hours of live coaching and 10 hours of pre-recorded videos. So not about this 10 hours videos anyway you will get, but pre-recorded, which already we have high quality videos done in the studio for you with proper slides on your screen, right? So total 20 hour of coaching in 5 weeks. And live coaching is, as I said, Saturday 6 to 8. And if you are not able to attend the live coaching, no problem, you will get the recording link. But I will prefer आप live attend करो, क्योंकि बहुत सारी interaction होगी live coaching में, और एक energy है जो different होती है whenever we do it live. So that is what I would request you all. So don't feel that this is another course. After you do the course, I'm going to record a video of you about your opinion about any change if you have gone. And these videos are important for me as well. They are my student testimonials. And that is my drive to push you to see that there is a change in the person happening. I want to see that you become a famous person on social media as a scholar civil engineer. And all this is possible in 5 weeks because we are talking only about specific subjects. हमने क्या decide किया है? If I'm in the 4th grade, I will teach the 2nd grade syllabus. That's what we want to do. You just want to be one step ahead of other civil engineers, of this ocean of 50 lakh civil engineers in our country. So we just want to be one step ahead. As you pay, please send me a message, please send me an email, and then we will begin the course. So I want to thank all of you. I again want to request you, let's join our force. And anyway, on coming Wednesday, we are meeting live with Professor Shetty, right? On our YouTube live. So you'll get that link also after some time. So join this course, join our community of concrete specialists. See you again during our next session. Next batch of such a course will not happen very soon, at least not before May, what we will be doing in January, because I have a lot of other commitments lined up and that will not be done. So take opportunity now and try to join this program. If you have any difficulties paying the fees, this, that, just send me a message. If you want a complimentary seat, it would be my absolutely privilege to have you on board. No problem. If there is some financial constraint, absolutely no problem. Okay, so I take leave your leave now, and we end this broadcast, and let's meet again on